Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Hi, Malin. How are you?
Fine. I'm good.
I'm
How are
doing
you?
good. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Where are you from, Malin?
I'm from Ecuador, Puyo.
From Puyo. Nice. Okay. It's very hot in Puyo.
Humid.
Humid, very humid. Gotcha. All right, Malin. So today is actually a review of everything from Unit 1 to Unit 12, okay? This is very useful to kind of summarize everything that you've seen and possibly things that you will see in the final exam, okay?
Okay, teacher.
All right. Hello, Mr. Jose. Good,
Mm,
ap- good afternoon, Jose. How are you?
good, thank you.
Great. Okay, Jose, today is a review of everything, so let's begin, okay? Here we have the first section. So guys, today I'm going to ask you to do a lot of participation, okay? So let's begin by reading the instructions here. Malin, can you read the instructions for me?
Yes, teacher. Choose the correct tenses to complete the sentences.
Very good. So guys, this is the tense review. So we're going to talk about all of the different tenses. So if we had to choose, Mr. Jose, between have one or won, how would you complete this sentence, Jose?
With I have won a medal when I was in elementary school.
Okay, that's a good option. But if we have something that's complete, I think maybe it would be better for completed actions if we chose one. I won a medal when I was in elementary school. Remember, guys, the present perfect is actually non-specific. So if we didn't have elementary school, then that would be a valid answer. But in this case, it's specific, so it's simple past. Okay, Jose? All right. What about number 2? How can we complete number 2, Malin?
Maybe with was practicing.
Exactly, because here we can see that it says before this class, so it has to be the past. So the correct answer is was practicing. What about number 3, Jose? How can we do or how can we complete this one?
Perhaps we have been studying.
Perfect. Absolutely, Jose. You can see the expression for more than 10 years. So now you know it started in the past and continues in the present. Let's do one more. What about this one, Malin?
I usually get.
Yeah, I usually get lots of likes for my post on social media. So this is the present simple. And you can tell that it's the present simple because the verb is in the present tense with the S. Okay, guys. So there are different tenses in the simple present. Remember, the simple present is routines, habits, facts. Continuous could be something that started in the past and continues in the present, or a longer action that was for a period of time. Um, Guys, today we're going to go kind of quick. We're going to go kind of fast. But if you have any questions, just say, teacher, I don't understand. Please explain. And I will be more than happy to help. Okay. So let's erase and let's continue because we have more to see. Here we have dynamic and stative verbs. So let's begin here. Mr. Jose, can you please read the instructions here?
Yes. Look at the verbs in the pairs of sentences. What is the difference in meaning?
Okie dokie. So now we're going to do a little explanation, okay? So let's read number 1. Malin, can you read number 1?
I love chocolate cake.
And then let's read B.
I'm loving this chocolate cake.
All right, guys. So this is an open question. This is for everyone, including myself. What is the difference between love and am loving? What do you think, guys? How would you differentiate one from another? Do you know, Malin?
Maybe B is something that's happening in this moment. Like I'm eating and I love it.
Nice. At the moment. I like that. At the moment. Perfect. So maybe this one can be at the moment. What about the first one? What could we say about the first one, Jose?
It's just generally speaking.
Nice. I like that. Generally speaking, right? We usually call generally something that is a fact, right? So when we have a fact or a habit, that's not how you spell speaking, sorry. Speaking. So when you have something that's generally, that's a fact or something that's always true, that is the simple present. Very good. What about the second one, Jose? Let's read number 2.
She studies really hard for her exams.
Very good. Continue. What about B?
She's studying really hard for her exams.
Excellent. So again, kind of the same idea, right? We have the simple present, and then we have the present continuous. Generally speaking, at the moment of speaking. And then finally, what about the last one? Malin, can you read the last one?
I think swimming is a great sport. I'm thinking of going swimming.
Oh, okay. Maybe this one is, so now we have the verb of think. So guys, a stative verb, maybe we should also talk about that. A stative verb is like love, maybe think. These are examples of a stative verb that is not a regular action. So just remember, we have, maybe we'll put that here. Let's put dynamic, actions, stative, something that is a state. Pretty obvious, right? But that is the difference, okay? So maybe let's think of an example. If I ask you guys, what do you dislike? What do you dislike, Jose? Is there something that you dislike?
I dislike bugs.
Like the sport, boxing?
No, bugs like ants, spiders.
Oh, me too. Me too. I dislike bugs. So when we pronounce this, I know the spelling is an S, Jose, but make sure that you pronounce it with a strong Z. Bugs. Bugs.
Okay.
Very good. What about Malin? Malin, what do you dislike?
I dislike it. Eat fish, maybe.
Okay. No fish. Oh my gosh. Okay. Fish is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Okay, guys. So that is an example of a stated verb. Maybe if I ask you guys, that was supposed to be do. Sorry. What do you like to do? What do you like to do, Balin? Now we're going to talk about a dynamic and action.
Mm, me? Sure.
Yes. Yes.
I like draw.
Excellent. I like to draw or I like drawing. Just remember that after like, we have to use to or ing. You can also say
Mhm.
doing, like drawing. Very good. All right. What about Jose? Jose, what do you like doing?
I like watching TV.
Nice. My previous session, we had a lot of K-drama fans. Are you guys K-drama fans? Do you watch that Korean stuff? What about you, Jose?
Not really.
Okay.
I like soap operas.
Oh, you like soap operas. Nice. I'm not familiar with too many soap operas or Korean drama, but the previous session was telling me all about K-dramas. It's my new vocabulary for the day. K-dramas. All right, guys. Any questions about dynamic or stative verbs? Is that clear? All righty, let's move right along. We have lots to see. let's talk about some real conditionals. So here we have real conditionals. Malin, can you please read the instructions here?
Read, excuse me. Read sentences A, D, and answer the questions.
Absolutely. So now let's take a look at the sentences down here. Let's read number one. Jose, can you read number one?
Which sentence is talking about something that is generally true?
Sorry, I said number one, but I meant letter A.
Okay.
Sorry,
If
Jose.
you like spicy food, you will love these tacos.
Absolutely. So let's read the examples first, and then we're going to match it to the definitions, okay? What about letter B? Can you read letter B?
Okay. If you have some old fruit, don't waste it.
Absolutely. What about Malin? Can you read C and D?
If you don't eat, you may be hungry later. If you order too much food, you can ask for a doggy bag.
Nice. Ask for a doggy bag. All right, guys. So these are different conditionals, okay? But now we have to categorize them into different categories. So let's take a look at number one. It says, which sentence is talking about something that is generally true? So A, B, C, or D? What do you guys think? Which one is generally true?
Maybe D?
Yeah. If you order too much food, you can ask for a doggy bag. This is something that's generally true in any restaurant that you go to. They offer you a container or a bag to take something with you. So let's put D here. Absolutely. What about number two? Number two says which sentences are talking about a future result or prediction. So now we have two choices. What do you think, Jose? Which ones are talking about the future?
I think it's A and C.
Excellent. You guys are good. All right. You guys have been practicing. So let's see. That means that we just have one final option. So go ahead and read 3. Malin, what's 3 say? Which?
Which sentences is giving advice or instructions?
Excellent. And that one would be B, correct? All right, guys. So if we take a look at the different kinds of conditionals, real conditionals, we can talk about general truths, predictions, or give an instruction. So what happens if I ask you guys, let's complete the sentence. So if you study a lot, and let's finish. How can we finish this phrase? If you study a lot, what would be a general truth about studying a lot? What do you think, Malin?
I think you will be a great um
Professional?
yeah,
A
maybe.
great professional or a great student. Absolutely. Very good. What about if we change it, Jose? So now we say don't. So if you don't study a lot, what do you think would be maybe a future prediction if you don't study a lot?
Maybe you will get bad grades.
Yeah, I think that's a great prediction. Absolutely. You will get bad grades. Okay. All right, guys. I don't think this is too difficult. Just remember conditionals are always with if. Then we can use will plus the regular form of the verb. Or if it's general truth, we just go present simple, present simple. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Easy peasy, teacher. No problem. Alrighty, so let's continue. Let's erase and we will go to the next one. So here we have clauses. So let's talk a little bit about clauses. So the important part that we will be talking about is after, until, and when. When you guys see these words, that means that the clause afterwards is going to be telling us something in specific. So let's read the instructions and begin here. Jose, can you read this one? Choose.
Choose the correct verb forms to complete the sentences from a recipe. Note that they are about sequences of events in the future.
Excellent. So they're kind of like exactly that. Some adverbs of frequency when we can say first, second, next, or maybe until when we're giving instructions. Mr. Jose, are you a good cook? Can you cook?
Not really, just basic things.
Me too, just the basics. What about Malin? Malin, can you cook?
Here.
All right, so there's a good thing that Uber Eats and fast food restaurants exist. We don't have to learn how to cook. We can always order out. All right, so let's take a look at the first one. Malin, go ahead and try to complete this one, okay?
Yes. After you boil
Perfect.
the for 8 minutes, it will be ready.
Excellent. So notice that this is kind of like a sequence. So after, and then we have the regular form, it will be ready because now it's the future. Perfect. Kind of a sequence. What about number 2, Mr. Jose? How can we complete number 2?
You will have to wait another few minutes until the fish and vegetables are cooked.
Awesome. Very good. So kind of like the conditionals, the clauses are exactly the same. We can flip the order and it doesn't matter. If you want, you can say the vegetables will be cooked in another few minutes, or if you will wait another few minutes. It's okay to interswap them just like we would with the conditionals. What about this one here? Malin, can you read this one?
Your family will fall in love with this dish when you try it.
When they try it, right?
Yeah.
When
the-
they try it. Very good. Absolutely. So just remember the clauses with after, or maybe the clauses until and when. They can be in different parts of the sentence. So let's see if we can do an example. Let's try to give an instruction. So you have to study until you fall asleep. I'm just kidding, but it's an example, right? So you have to study until you fall asleep, and we can use until as the clause. Can you guys think of an example using after, until, or when? What do you think, Jose? Can you think of one?
Maybe you have to study when you have an exam.
You have to study when you have an exam. Perfect. Very good. You can also use the future, right? You have to study when you will have an exam. No problem. All right. What about Malin? Malin, can you think of an example? It could be after, until, or when. No problem.
Maybe you should try it after say something. Like a opinion.
Okay.
I
You
don't
should.
know.
Okay. You should try it after. Yeah, that's okay, Malin, but maybe it makes a little bit more sense if they say like an instruction, or you should try it after they offer you. But it makes sense, guys. There's no, just something that you need to know about clauses, guys. Clauses are phrases, they are sentences, and there's no right or wrong as long as they make sense. You just have to make sure that your sentence makes sense, okay? Any questions, any comments? Easy peasy. Alrighty. We're going to keep it moving because we still have a lot to do. Here, we're going to talk about to and enough. Are you guys familiar with to and enough? What's the difference between to and enough? Do you guys know, Jose?
To refers when it's a bit too much, and
Yeah.
enough is when it's just right.
Awesome, Jose. Yeah, I like that. Just right. Okay, so we can say that, just to simplify it, we can put here plus 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 is too much, right? And enough, we're going to say that, sorry, we're going to say that this is equal. We're right at the point where we should be, right? Even Steven. So let's go with the instructions. May, can you read the instructions here?
Complete the text with to and enough.
Excellent. So let's begin here. May, on weekdays,
On weekdays, I spend too much time with sitting down.
awesome.
I don't enough time
Yeah, excellent. Very
to
good.
exercise. And I'm usually too tired
Yep.
after
Excellent,
a lot
Malin.
of work.
Perfect. All right. So you did 3 for 3. The whole entire thing was correct, right? So here you can see too much time. It's an abundance. Enough time, maybe in this case, it's a negative. Guys, remember we can also use enough. You'll see it a lot with the negative expression. So I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I didn't get enough sleep. Usually you'll see it with the negative expression too. And then finally, too tired. Awesome. What about Mr. Jose? How can we complete this one?
Luckily, on the weekend, it's not too bad. I have enough time for everything: exercise, family, friends, and fun, and that it's good enough for me.
Nice. You guys are too good. This is too easy for you. Good enough for me. Very good. So we have good enough for me, enough time for everything, and too bad. So maybe we can think of 2 examples, guys. Can you think of 2 examples? One example with too and one example with enough. For example, I have too many students this semester. Or it could be something like, I haven't done enough exercise, or maybe I won't use exercise because it's here. I haven't eaten enough chocolates this week. So what do you think? Can you guys think of an example? Think of one with too and one with enough. Jose?
You need to drink enough water to stay hydrated.
Excellent example. You read my mind, Jose. As soon as you said water, I had the water in my hand. All right. Malin, can you think of another example?
With enough or too.
You can choose. It's okay. Whichever one you'd like.
I don't have enough time with my boyfriend.
Yeah, unfortunate. Not enough time with your boyfriend. Very good. What about Jose? Jose, can you think of another one? Are you there, Mr. Jose?
Sorry, I have problems with my connection. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah. Can you think of one more example? What would be one more example with too or enough?
I think I have been eating too much spicy food. My belly hurts.
Oh, no. All right. Very good. Jose, what's your favorite spicy food?
Maybe chili.
Ooh, okay. Nice. Chili's good. Chili's good. All right. And Malin, one more example. You're muted, Malin.
With two, right?
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe too much. Use the expression too much. So what do you have
Too
too
much.
much of? Too much Too many assignments, too many maybe subjects to study.
I need too much time to do the exercise in the platform.
Okay, so in that case, we have to kind of switch it, May. We would say, sorry, May Lynn. Can I call you May? Is it okay if I call you May? All right, May is shorter and it's faster. May, so when you're talking about the time on the platform, you can say doing the activities on the platform takes too much time, right? So we would just say it backwards. First the context and then too much time, okay? All righty. Any questions, comments, or concerns, guys? Is this clear? Too overabundance, enough, just right. Let's clear, and we can continue. All right, guys, let's do some comparisons. So there are different comparisons in English, and modifying comparisons is just another example. Let's read the examples or the instructions here. May, can you please read this? Compare.
Compare the products and service using modifier and
Perfect.
the adjectives in the boxes. Make at least 3 different comparisons of each item.
Of each item. Very good. So guys, let's take a look. We'll do the first one together. So it says, let's read it together. Jose, can you read one? A burger?
A burger from a fast food restaurant.
Excellent. So guys, we can use superlatives, we can use comparisons, we can use as, there's different ones. So for example, I'll give you guys the first example. So a burger from McDonald's is as cheap as a burger from Burger King, right? As cheap as. So we can use one example of as, as plus adjective plus as when we want to say that they're equal, okay? Maybe we could say that a burger from McDonald's is cheaper than Carl's Jr. In this case, it's different. So now we can use adjective plus ER if we want to kind of use the regular comparison. And then obviously we would use that, right? So cheaper than. All right, can you guys think of an example? Think of a fast food restaurant. You can use cheap, expensive, or delicious. What do you think, May? Yeah, you're muted, May. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Sorry, teacher, I'm just thinking. Why
It's
am I?
okay. All right. It can be any comparison, guys. We can talk about pizza, maybe Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, and another one. It could be anything. It could be maybe some Italian food and Chinese food.
Yeah. Maybe Italian food as delicious
Yeah,
as Chinese food.
perfect. Very good. Italian food is as delicious as Chinese food. Italian, Chinese. Very good. What about Jose? Jose, can you think of an example?
Papa John's is cheaper than Pizza Hut.
Absolutely. What about if we're going to use maybe superlatives? If we had to use the superlatives, I know it says comparisons, but we can also practice superlatives. What about adjectives plus EST? So what is the most expensive fast food restaurant? What is the most expensive fast food restaurant? Malin? Imagination doesn't have to be real.
Maybe I don't know. Burger King is more expensive.
Yeah, that's the comparison. What
Mhm.
about is the most? Let's use the most.
Most.
In this case, it would be, actually, let's separate that. So we have the,
The most.
exactly, the most expensive. The most expensive, because that's a big adjective. And for big adjectives, we have to use most, more, less, least. Okay?
Mhm.
All
Then
right. Go ahead and repeat one more time. I'm sorry. I
Hmm.
interrupted you.
The food in Burger King is the most expensive than McDonald's.
Yeah, or more expensive than McDonald's, right? Very good. For superlative, guys, remember we only have one subject. So McDonald's is the most expensive. Or comparison, McDonald's, Burger King. Okay? All right. Jose, one more example. Can you think of one more example?
Mm,
If you want, guys, we don't have to stay here. We can talk about burgers. Let's go down here. Pairs of shoes, sandals, maybe transportation. You guys pick any example of a comparison.
mm, Sneakers are less comfortable than uh, than sandals.
Absolutely. Very good. Sneakers are less comfortable than sandals. I like it. Very good. Let's do another one, May. Can you think of another example?
Teacher, I have a question.
Sure.
We can make a comparison between the weather. Maybe Quito, Quito, I don't know.
Excellent. Yeah. Tell me about the weather in Puyo and maybe Quito. What's the difference?
Maybe in Puyo, it is more warm than Quito.
Excellent. Very good. But we have to say warmer than Quito, okay? What's the temperature today, May? Do you know the temperature in Puyo today? Is it like 30 degrees, 40 degrees?
Maybe, I don't know, 17.
Oh, that's not bad. Jose, where are you from, Jose?
I'm from Quito, but I'm in Loja right
In
now.
Loja. What's the temperature in Loja, Jose?
Like 15 degrees, I think.
Oh, so it's not, today's a relatively cool day. You guys are not too hot. It's a relatively cool day. Cool. Alrighty. Guys, there are different comparisons, okay? So maybe let's just do one final example here. Let's just erase. So maybe burgers are as delicious as tacos. This is the first one, which is going to be equal, okay? When we use as with the adjective in the middle, we're talking about equal. Then we have comparatives. Comparatives are maybe hot dogs are less fatty or fattening than maybe, what could we say? Hot dogs are less fattening than
That
pizza. Sorry, nachos? All right, I love nachos. Nachos, perfect. So hot dogs are less fattening than nachos. Guys, this is not an adjective. This is actually a, a noun. So we can also use nouns. What about if we have something like, another example could be the superlatives. So maybe we say pizza is the most delicious, okay? So you have to make sure that you practice all of the different forms. We have as plus adjective plus as. We have the comparisons with adjectives or with nouns. And then we have the superlative with the most delicious or the best. Remember, we can also use the best for irregular verbs. Any questions? Is that okay? Also be careful with big and small nouns because fashionable, you can't say fashionabler. You would have to say more fashionable, more expensive. And then long, which is regular, longer, longest. So make sure to practice the different forms, okay? Alrighty, let's erase and let's continue. Here we have models of speculation. So let's read the instructions here. Jose?
Okay, models of speculation. Look at the photo, read sentences 1 to 3, then match them to explanations A to C.
Very good. So in this case, we have the sentences here, and then we're going to match to the other ones. So let's see. All right, we'll start here. Let's read the first one. May, can you read number 1?
This store must sell sports merchandise.
Very good. Sports merchandise. What about number 2? Jose, can you read number 2?
And it could be a general sports store.
Perfect. And number 3, May.
Those can't be formal clothes. This is a sports store.
Great. All right, so we're going to pay attention to the models. We have must, could, and can't, okay? So now we have to match it. We have to match it to A, B, and C. So let's begin with A. So the speaker is not sure if it's true. So if someone is not sure, what do you think, May? Which one is this?
It's something is probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that's probable. Is it must, could, or can't?
Must.
Must is going to be at the top.
So cool.
Exactly, could, right? So this is something that could, remember, could is like 50-50. When we say it could be, it could not be, I don't know, I'm not sure. What about the next one, Jose? This one. The speaker is sure it's true. Which one is this?
Number 1.
Exactly. So this one is 100%. He is 100% sure. And that means, let's read the last one, May. Can you read the last one?
The speaker is sure it's not true.
Very good. And we have this one here, which is C, okay? All right, so maybe we can give an example. Let's see, one example. What, let's see. What could be happening in your city? Let's just use an example with could. What could be happening in your city right now? What do you think, Jose? There could be.
There could be a party going on in my city.
All right, very good. Which one? Do you count Loja as your city or Quito as your city? Which one, Jose?
Loja.
Loja. All right. How long have you lived in Loja?
I have been living a year and a half.
All right. You gave up on Quito very fast. 1 year and you're like, forget Quito. I like Loja. All right. What about May? May, what could be happening in your city?
There could be something is happening now, like changes.
Yeah, like a possibility. It could be maybe an action, probably an action, May. So let's think there could be a parade, there could be a game, there could be maybe a competition.
Oh, they could be yeah, competition.
Absolutely.
Cycling site.
Oh, a
Like
cycling competition. Nice.
yeah.
A cycling competition. Very good. Cycling competition. Very good. A cycling competition. So guys, we're only speculating, okay? We don't know if it's true. We're only speculating. There could be a competition. There could be a party. What about if we think of one example with must? What about must? So, what must every UTPL student think of English? What must every UTPL student think of English? What do you think? Now, guys, please remember I'm a sensitive teacher, so please don't hurt my feelings. Jose, what must every UTPL student think of English?
Mm, that is a bit harder.
Okay, that it's a bit hard, but we have to use must. So let's use must. It must be
That it must be hard.
that it must be hard. Excellent example, right? But it just takes practice, right, Jose? You just have to
Yes.
practice. Yes, awesome. All right. What about Malin? Malin? So maybe not English. So it's not the same response. Let's just leave it as an open-end question. What must every UTPL student think in general?
Maybe that it must be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That it must be interesting. Excellent, guys. So please remember, must is when we are 100% sure, could 50-50, and can't, the complete opposite, negative, definitely can't be true. Okay? Any questions? Is that okay? Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy, teacher. Come on, teacher. Be serious. This is too easy. All right. What about relative clauses? Let's go with this one. So subject and object relative clauses. May, can you please read the instructions?
Complete the relative clauses with the correct pronouns. More than one answer and is usually possible.
Okay. Are you guys familiar with the relative clauses? For example, that, or maybe which, or maybe who? Have you guys practiced the relative clauses before? We can use that, which, or who, okay? All right, so how can we complete number one, Mr. Jose? Comedians.
Comedians who perform for live audiences are usually better entertainers.
Very good. And guys, just very, very important. There's usually more than one possible answer. So you can say who or that, no problem. All right. But just in case for the exam or for the platform or for anything technical, obviously we want to use who when we're talking about people, okay? So comedians, people, who. What about number two, May? How can we complete number two? There's a party, May.
Sorry.
There's a celebration going on.
Every day in my house. I think maybe it's that or which.
Okay, many photos that. Yep, absolutely. So let's put that. Let's finish the sentence, May, okay? Many photos that go viral.
Are pictures of heroes or
Heroes.
icons.
Very
Heroes.
good. Heroes. All right. What about number three, Jose? How can we complete number three?
Filmmakers, which are also producers, create more successful movies.
So let's see. Let's do a little adjustment, Jose. Let's do something here. So I want which to go first here. So we want to use which and that for objects. and we want to use who and that for people, okay? So this is option number one. This is option number two. Option number one, option number two. Whenever possible, always go with option number one, okay? Does that make sense, Jose? So in this
Yes.
case, if we're talking about filmmakers, if we can, just always go for who for people, okay?
Okay.
So here, who? Filmmakers who are also producers create more successful movies. Very good. What about the next one? What about the next one, May?
I think is who? Maybe the
Okay.
performers who people admire are usually from their own country.
The performers who people admire. Yeah, sure. There's actually multiple answers, guys. So multiple answers, we could say who, we could say that. And remember that the relative clause is also talking about the person. So the performers that people admire are usually from their own country, or the performers who people admire are from their own countries. Very good. And we have one more, Jose. What about this one?
Most of the clothes that models and other celebrities wear are by famous designers.
Excellent. Very good. I wish I was a celebrity. Free clothes. You get free clothes every day of the week, right? All right, Jose, what do you think? May, any questions with relative clauses?
No, it's everything clear.
All righty, let's erase and we can continue. Here we have the past perfect. So let's read the instructions here. May, can you read this one?
Which action happened first in each sentence?
Alrighty, which action happened first? So let's read it and then we can highlight the first action. Let's read the first one here, Jose. By the time
we arrived at the door of the old house, it had begun to rain.
what do you think, Jose? Which one was first? Which one was second?
First was the rain.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes.
All right, so let's do some color coding here. So we have first and second. Maybe we can we'll do first orange, second green. Okay, so first and second. So here, the first action, oops, the first action, it had begun to rain. Very good. What about number two, May?
Read first, teacher.
Sure, go ahead and read it and then we can determine.
I looked out of the window and saw something I had never seen before.
Uh-oh, that looks scary. Or that sounds scary. Dun, dun, dun. What do you think? Which one was first and which one was second, May?
First, I looked out of the window and I saw, I think, looked first.
Okay, so the first action is actually, I looked out the window and saw something I had never seen before. This is a tricky one. By the time we arrived, the door had begun. I looked out the window and saw something I had never seen before. Yeah, looked out the window is first, okay? Great. But we're going to talk about that in just one moment, May, because I have something important to share with you. Never happened before is your whole entire life. So every experience before that is something that never happened before. So technically, this one is first, but if we have three, then we're going to go with that one. What about number three, Jose?
When they met again by the lake in the park, they hadn't talked to each other for almost 10 years.
What do you think? Which one is first, Jose?
Met.
So when they met, the first action is 10 years, right? So they hadn't talked. It's kind of what we're saying here, okay? So maybe let's change this, May. Sorry, May. I don't want to confuse you guys. Simple way of doing this, let's just say the first action is always going to be had plus past participle, okay? An easy way to remember, anything that is had and past participle, especially when you have the simple past, always when you have the simple past is going to be the first action is the past participle and the second action is the simple past. Now, let me explain. If we're talking about I looked out of the window and saw something I had never seen before. I had never seen before is like your whole entire life experience, right? But because it's negative, I think that's why May was saying that it was looked, right? Go ahead, May.
Teacher, I have a question. Maybe I don't know
It's okay.
how to say that, but I am trying to explain.
Sure.
But how can I know if it's something I never seen before?
Yeah,
I don't.
you're
So
absolutely right.
first,
You're absolutely right, May. So I think that's why this example here is kind of tricky. This is a bad example, guys. This is a bad example because it's negative. I had never seen before, but it's talking about like your whole experience. Now, if we had to determine between this and this, I think we would go with look, right? Look is the first one. So maybe let's leave this one blank, May. Let's leave this one blank because it's kind of confusing. But here, definitely, and here, definitely, we always have the had, which is the past perfect, is the first action, okay? This is the rule. The rule when we use the past perfect and the simple past, we always have the first action and then the second action, okay? So let's try to think of an example. So she screamed at me. She screamed at me when I had already left. Okay, so this is more of like an example. So we have the simple past, she screamed at me, but it was too late because I was no longer there. I had already left. So this is the typical, the had, and then past participle, and then the simple past. Maybe you guys can just practice from here. Just remember this structure, and this is kind of like an exception, okay? So May and Jose, let's think of one example. Can you think of one example? Simple past and past participle. What do you think, Jose? Can you think of an example?
When she had finished her homework, it was already night, perhaps.
When she had finished her homework, it was already, let's say nighttime, okay? Nighttime. Yeah, absolutely. When she had finished her homework, it was already nighttime. Very good. What about Malin? Malin, can you think of an example?
teacher, I have one question too.
Sure, it's okay.
Um,
As many
it,
questions.
it's not important the order. Maybe I can say first add and then
Absolutely, no
for
problem. Yep, no problem. You can switch it.
so let me think, please.
All right, it's okay. Take your time, take your time. I'll do another example here in the chat. Another example would be, we had canceled the meeting before they had shown up, or before they had called, right? We had canceled the meeting. Oh, sorry. That was before they called. Let me erase that. So maybe here, the second one is just called, before they called. I'll erase this, before they called, like this. We had canceled the meeting before they called. What do you think, Jose? Can you think of another one?
With had participle or simple past?
Let's do the combination of both. So it's a little bit, actually, that's a good idea, Jose. Let's just do the past participle, the past simple, so it's finished. So it's easier for you guys, okay? I think it's easier if you just do the simple, the past perfect.
Mm,
I had finished the book.
When they ate, there was already more food.
When they ate, okay, but we're missing the past perfect. When they ate, there was
More food.
but we have to make sure that we're using the structure, guys. The structure is had plus the past participle, right? So let me help you here, Jose. When they ate, they had, when they ate, they had, or maybe the company, when they ate, they had prepared more food. So we're talking about two different people. We're talking about two different people. Me, Jose, and May, we ate, but the rest of the family prepared more food, right? So they had prepared more food, but we ate. What do you think, May? Can you think of an example?
Yes, teacher. I write one, but I don't know if it's correct or not. He talked to me about her when he had begun to love her.
Romantic, very romantic, May. All right, one more time, May. He began talking to me when he had already loved her. He talked to me about her when he had begun to love her. Okay, yeah, it's kind of long, it's kind of wordy, but it's okay. He talked to me about her when he had begun to love her. That's great. Very good, May. All right, guys. A little complicated, but let's just do simplification, okay? Simple past. I was married before I had moved to Ecuador, right? A simple example, guys, so you guys understand this action. I was married before I had moved to Ecuador. So in this case, it's like you can see a simple example, okay? Any questions, guys? I had got married before I moved to Ecuador. There we go. That makes more sense. I had got married before I moved to Ecuador. Okay. All right, guys. Practice, practice, practice. Any questions? All right. Let's erase and let's continue. Here we have was, were, going to, was, were, supposed to. So let's begin here. Jose, can you read the instructions here? Complete.
Complete the man's story with was, were, not going to, and was, were, not supposed to.
All right. So if we had to separate, so if we look here, was, were, not going to for intended actions, and maybe was, were, going to, maybe expected to do something, right? Intentions and expected. I was supposed to maybe sleep all day today, right? I was supposed to, but it didn't happen. Or I was going to go on vacation, but I didn't. So intention and expectations. Let's go here and see if we can complete this together. What do you think, May? Let's go with number one, only number one, okay? The first sentence.
Leo had great plans for tonight. He and his friends were going to
Yeah, absolutely.
get together to celebrate his promotion.
Very good. So we're going with a G. They were going to get together and celebrate his promotion, right? What about the next one, number two? How can we do number two? Jose?
They were going to finish work at the usual time and meet at this fancy restaurant at 7.
Okay, maybe we have to go a little bit further to see if it happened or not. So remember that going to is the plan, and supposed to was something that didn't happen, right? It was expected to, but didn't happen. So I think we have to read a little bit more to see what happened. Let's read and then we'll go back and complete, okay? Let's continue here with the next one. May, as he was working.
As he was working from home, Leo was supposed to take the 6 o'clock train to the city and then a taxi to the restaurant.
Okay, so here we have something important, the but, right? When we see the but, we can see that something didn't happen. So let's continue here, Jose. But, of course.
But of course, no plans are perfect. 5 minutes before he was supposed to leave for the station, his boss called.
Very good. And then the last one, May, he
was going to answer the phone, but he didn't.
Okay, so I think you guys, all right, so now that we have the complete story, now we can go back and make sure that we're putting the right one, okay? So they were, in this one here, I think they were supposed to. They were supposed to finish, right? They had the intention of finishing work at the usual time and meet at the fancy restaurant. We know this didn't happen because something happened. As we continue, it says, as he was working from home, Leo was going to, or was supposed to. I guess it's kind of similar. So Leo was going to take the 6 o'clock train to the city and then take a taxi to the restaurant. But of course, no plan was perfect. 5 minutes before he was supposed to leave, for the station, his boss called. He he wasn't going to answer. So this is the intention. He wasn't going to answer the call, but he did. He wasn't going to answer the phone, but he did. Big mistake. So guys, kind of depending on the situation, depending on what you want to express, just remember that going to is a plan and supposed to is kind of an expectation. So if I ask you guys, what were you supposed to do this weekend? What were you supposed to do this weekend, Jose? What were you supposed to do?
I guess I was supposed to do homework. Could be one example.
Yeah, absolutely. Now remember, You were supposed to, and you didn't do it, right? You didn't do the homework?
No, I did do it.
Okay, all right. Well, imagination. Imagination that you didn't do it. Because supposed to is imagination, right? I'm sorry, something that didn't happen. Something that didn't happen is supposed to, okay? What
Okay.
about May? May, what were you supposed to do this weekend?
This weekend, teacher, or the next weekend?
Okay, let's talk about next weekend. I think you have plans for next weekend. Do you have plans for next weekend?
No, but I'm going to use my imagination.
Okay, very good. So now if it's a plan, then we don't use suppose. Now we have to use going to, and then we'll say next weekend, okay?
So I'm going to, no, yeah, I'm going to, um, I don't know why I'm saying this in English, but we
Some,
say in Spanish, pajarear.
oh my gosh. Is that like hunting for birds?
Yeah, I remember. It's birding. It's in English.
Birding.
Birding.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. All right.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to birding with my friends.
I'm going birding with my friends. All right. But excellent. Very good, May. I'm sorry. I led you the wrong way. I took you the wrong way because if we talk about next weekend, then it's no longer the past with was, were. Okay. So maybe that's a great example for the future, going to for the future, but it's not an example of was, were. Okay. So that's my fault. I led you the wrong way. Um, Another example, May, what were you going to do last weekend? Intentions or plans for last weekend?
Um, I wa I was going to dance with my friends.
Yeah,
Um, presentation in the school.
excellent.
At the
Perfect.
school
At the
or in
school. Better to say at the school. Very good. I was going to dance with my friends at the school. Very good. What about Jose? Jose, what were you going to do last weekend?
I was going to a tent party, but my car broke down.
Oh no, a tent party. That sounds fun, Jose. Unfortunate, unfortunate. All right, guys. So please remember going to for plans that were made and then maybe supposed to, something you were expected to do, maybe from a third person, from another source. Maybe your parents told you to do something and you were supposed to do something, but you didn't. Never the case, or nevertheless, it is always the opposite. It didn't happen. Okay. All right. Any questions? Easy peasy. All right. Let's erase and we can continue. Here we have reported questions. So let's read the questions here. May, can you read the first question here?
what do you usually click on when you are looking at social media?
Very good. So guys, for reported questions, remember we have to invert, we have to switch, and we have to use the past form, or we go down 1/10. So here we have to change it. You asked each other what, and then instead of click, we have to change it to the past, right? So what's the past of click? May?
Clicked.
Exactly. So we're going to put clicked on. You asked each other what you clicked on. Let's put here. You asked each other what you clicked on when you, and then we have to change one more verb, right? So if we have are looking, we have to change it to the past. How can we change it to the past?
Was
Yeah,
looking.
were.
Where? Oh yeah, where?
looking exactly at social media because it's you, right? So go ahead and repeat, May.
You asked each other what you clicked on when you were looking at social media.
Excellent, very good. And that's the first one. What about this one here, Jose? What are some
What are some possible consequences of looking at clickbait?
Are you guys familiar with clickbait? Clickbait is that thing that gets your attention, that one thing that always gets you to clickbait. So, how can we change this? How can we report this question?
Um, all right. You also asked what were the consequences
Yeah,
looking at
absolutely.
clickbait.
Yeah. What were the consequences of looking at clickbait? Very good. All right. What about sorry, what was the last part? You also asked what were the consequences of looking at clickbait. I guess there's nothing else here. You also asked what were the consequences. Let's put the consequences of looking at clickbait and maybe on social media or something like that. But we'll just leave that blank. And then we have one more. What about the last one, May? What about this one?
Does clickbait annoy you?
Okay.
Finally, you asked each other, did clickbait?
Okay, so here, for yes and no questions, remember when we report, yes, no questions, we're actually going to use if or whether, okay? So instead of repeating does, we can say if or whether, okay?
So is if clickbait
Yeah, absolutely.
annoy
If,
you?
perfect. If clickbait annoyed you. Annoyed you. Very good. Excellent. All right. Great, guys. So for reported questions, we always have to go down one tense. Present to the past, continuous to the past continuous, simple past to the past perfect. We always go down one tense, and we do have to invert the subjects, okay? Any questions? Easy peasy? All righty. Practice, guys. Make sure to practice. Guys, this is a great way for you guys to kind of take note of everything that you might see in the final exam, okay? So each one that we're going over might be there, okay? So just be careful, make sure to review. Here you have the same example. Here we have one more. Let's read the example here, Jose. A friend.
A friend asked me if I wanted to go to the movies tonight. I said yes.
Very good. And what about this one, May?
A guy asked me where the tourist information office was. I didn't know.
Very good. And this is what I was talking about. Make sure not to make the mistake. She asked what, or she asked me what I did, not what I do, not what did I do. It's what I did. We have to invert the order of the question. Okay. All right, guys, let's continue. Here we have the present unreal conditionals. Let's take a look. Let's begin here. Jose, can you read this one?
Present unreal conditionals. Do the sentences refer to a real or an imagined situation? Do they refer to a past situation?
All right, let's see if it's real or imagination. Let's go with number 1, May. If I
had a permanent full-time job, I would get a good salary.
What do you think? Is this going to be a past situation? Is this real or imaginary situation? What do you think?
Imaginary situation.
Excellent. It's imaginary, right? Because we don't have a permanent full-time job. This is what we wish. What about number 2? Jose, can you read number 2?
Yeah. If babysitting was my main job, I wouldn't like it.
Very good. There was one more I meant to ask. Well, first, Jose, is this real or imaginary situation?
A real situation?
If my babysitting was my main job, I would like it. I think this is going to be like a conditional, guys. So when you see unreal conditionals with if, it's like the possibility. If I were a millionaire, if I lived in Loja, if I could speak Japanese. So these are going to be unreal conditionals in this case, okay? With if, when you see if. And my second question for number 1 and number 2, is this the present or is this the past? What do you think, Jose? The present or the past?
Present?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the present or the future for imaginary situations, right? Very good. And then we have one more, May. What about number 3? I might
get bored if I worked as a lifeguard.
lifeguard. Lifeguard.
Guard.
Very good. I might get bored if I worked as a lifeguard. All right, guys, so that is another example. Remember that the conditionals, the order does not matter. We can switch the order. So let's read this part here, Jose. In formal language,
In formal language, use were for all subjects, including first and third person. If I were freelance, I would have more free time.
excellent. So guys, for formal writing, especially formal speaking, like an academic essay, we want to make sure that we use were for all of the subjects. We don't change it. Even if it doesn't make sense, it's just the structure. And then May, what about this one? In informal language,
In informal language, you can use was for first and third person subjects. If the work was successful, she wouldn't do it.
very good. So maybe let's do something imaginary. If I were rich, maybe we could say I would, and then let's complete. May, what do you think? If you were rich, you would, what would you do?
If I were rich, I wouldn't help poor people.
Okay, be careful with the pronunciation, May. Um, would or wouldn't? Okay, be careful because it sounded like you said, I wouldn't help poor people. I would help poor people. Very good. What about Jose? Jose, what if you were rich?
If I were rich, I would travel the entire world.
Nice. What would be the first stop, Mr. Jose? What would be your first country?
I don't know, somewhere in Europe?
Okay, cool. Somewhere in Europe. What about May? Do you have a dream destination, May?
Yes, teacher.
Where would you go?
Tokyo.
Ooh, cool. Tokyo. That would be awesome. All right, guys. So unreal conditionals. We use if plus the simple past, and then we use would plus the regular form of the verb, okay? If I had $1 million, I would. If I lived in Tokyo, I would. If I went to Europe, I would. It's the same structure for everything, okay? Any questions? Alrighty, we're almost done, guys. Hang in there, hang in there. We just have a little bit more to go. Here we have I wish, which is kind of similar to what we just talked about. But now, instead of using if, we're going to use I wish. May, can you read the instructions for me?
Complete the which sentences with a partner.
Very good. This is statements, the statements. What about here, Jose? I have.
I have to work long hours.
So, guys, after wish, I wish is always followed by the simple past. Sorry, guys, I can't type today. Simple past. Always with the simple past. So if we had to change this into a wish statement, how could we change this, Jose? I wish I.
I wish I didn't have.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I didn't have to. Maybe we can move this. There we go. I wish I didn't have to work such long hours. What about number 2, May? How can we complete number 2?
I wish I have more free time.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I had more free time. What about number 3, Mr. Jose?
Uh, I wish I could take.
But it still has to stay negative, right? I wish I can't take any time off. Sorry, guys, that's a spelling mistake. Maybe take, yeah, you're right. I wish I could take. Let's change that. I wish I could take some time off next week. Please ignore that. What about number 4? May?
I wish I didn't promise to work this weekend.
Okay, so here, yeah, yeah, so maybe that's the mistake. I wish I hadn't promised or didn't promise. I wish I didn't promise. So maybe that was the negation. That was correct. Very good. All right, guys. So my question for you guys is, I wish I had. Go ahead and complete the statement. May? I wish I had, or I wish I was. It could be anything.
I wish I had work or
Okay,
no, a job.
a job.
Sorry, job.
Very good. So you can say both. The correct or the more common way is I wish I had a job. But if you say I wish I had work, it's understandable that you're talking about work for a job, right? All right. What about Jose? Jose, what do you wish? I wish.
I wish I could. I could go to run.
Okay. I wish I could maybe go for a run is the expression, right? Go for a run. Do you like to run, Jose?
Yeah, a bit.
Nice. Like extreme running or just like casual 30 minutes running?
Like a little marathon. Yes.
Okay. What's your uh what's your personal record? How many kilometers?
Sometimes 5, sometimes 10.
All right, that's good. That's good. My personal record is 500 meters. That's it. 500 meters, that's where I stop. All right. Any questions, guys? Remember to always use I wish plus the simple past. Any questions? All righty. Let's erase and let's continue. Here we have prohibition, permission, obligation, and the present. So let's begin here. Mr. Jose, complete.
Complete the explanations for each sign. More than one answer might be possible.
Awesome. So, guys, for permission and obligation, remember you must, you can't, you should, you mustn't, all of the modal verbs. So if we take a look at the different signs, what about this one, May? How can we complete this?
You should not eat or drink here.
So that's okay, May. You can say you should not drink here, but what about a strong, strong prohibition?
I know.
Maybe must. It's okay. You must not, okay? You must not, let's erase not. You must not eat or drink here, okay? What about the next one, Jose? What about this one? You are not,
You are not allowed?
yeah, absolutely. So that's one way we could say it. You are not allowed to eat or drink here. Very good. What about this one here? May?
You could park here.
Yeah, what's the present? So we have could in the past, but the present is
Can.
exactly. So just can. You can park here. What about, or I guess you could say you are allowed to park here. What about the next one, Jose?
You are permitted?
Yeah, you could say permitted, sure. You are permitted, but I think the vocabulary word from your platform, I believe, is allowed, right? You are allowed to park here. What about this one, May?
You must wear a hard hat here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dangerous. You must wear a hard hat. And the last one, Jose?
You are required.
Ooh, that's a good one. To wear a hard hat here. Mr. Jose, do you have a hard hat?
No.
No hard hat. A helmet? A helmet for a bike?
Yes.
There you go. So you can put on your helmet for a bike just in case. All right, guys. Now there's multiple answers. There's might be more than one possible answer. So you guys can use must, maybe permitted, prohibited. I guess here for number one, you are, no, you must not. I guess that's the only way we could say, but there are different forms like permitted, allowed, required, or you are, yeah, different forms, okay? Any questions? Alrighty, guys, you're doing great. Yes, May?
Sorry, teacher. Can you write the possibilities words we can use like must, allowed? I
Yeah, sure.
know we have more, but I don't remember.
So you have to use must, all of the modal verbs, right? So could, may, might, all of the modal verbs, should, all of those are the modal verbs that you can use. But when you're talking about permission and prohibition, it's just, oh, have to, sorry. The strong one is have to. It's the only one that's missing here. Probably should have said here, you have to wear a hard hat here, okay? I think those are all of them, May, okay? All right. Any other questions? Jose, is that okay?
It's okay.
Alrighty, let's continue, guys. Let's erase and we can continue. I forgot my reactions. Where's my reactions? Beep. Here we go. All right, so we continue with the prohibition, permission, obligation in the past. Actually, guys, we're going to skip this because it's exactly the same that we did here. Have to, must, could, couldn't, just that now it's going to be the past. Let's go to past unreal events, which is now going to be for the past. Let's go here and let's read the instructions here. Jose, read the sentences.
Read the sentences. Do they refer to events that happened or didn't happen? What is the difference between would and might?
Okay, would and might. So let's take a look. The first one, May. If Newton hadn't,
If Newton hadn't been under an apple tree, he would not have discovered gravity.
very good. Oh, so we go back to the past. Perfect. So what do you think? Is this something that happened or didn't happen, May? They happened or didn't happen?
Is something it happened?
Yeah, absolutely, because he actually made the discovery, right? And maybe, Jose, what's the difference between would and might?
Might indicates a possibility.
Yep, absolutely. So might is a possibility somewhere in the middle, 50-50. It might happen, it might not happen. And then would could be more of an affirmation, something that was intended to happen, or maybe imaginary with the chance of happening. Could be that. What about number 2? Jose, can you read number 2?
If Fleming hadn't added bacteria to the petri dish, he would not have discovered penicillin.
What a huge discovery. All right. So again, did this happen or this didn't happen, Jose?
It did happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, pay attention to the past perfect. Hadn't been, hadn't added, and then we have one more. What about this one here? May? Spencer?
Spencer might not have discovered the microphone if a candy bar had not melted in his pocket.
Very good. Interesting. So the candy bar helped him think of the idea of the microwave. Okay. And had not melted. Here you can see again a form of the past perfect. Okay. Guys, these are past unreal conditionals. Okay. So maybe let's see if we can think of something. If I hadn't maybe joined class today, I wouldn't have met you guys, right? So in this case, we have the past perfect. If I hadn't joined class today with just one S, then we have the comma, I wouldn't have met. So the structure here is going to be had plus past participle, would plus have plus past participle. This one's a little bit harder, guys, but let's see if you can think of an example. If I hadn't done exercise this week, I would have gained 5 pounds of weight. I would have gained weight. Okay. So let's think of an example. Can you guys think of an example?
If I hadn't done, I don't know, is no do If I hadn't
Done. If I
Done.
hadn't done.
done my exercise, my English exercise, I wouldn't know what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't, you just have to use the past participle, okay? So I wouldn't have known what to do. I wouldn't have known what to do. We have to make sure that after have, we use the past participle, okay? All right, Jose, can you think of an example?
If I hadn't forgotten to pack my charger, my phone would have battery. Right?
If I hadn't forgotten to pack my charger, my phone would have battery. Very good. It's dead, right? Your cell phone is dead, correct?
Imagine the situation, but yes.
Gotcha. Very good. That's an excellent imagination, Mr. Jose. All right. Any questions, guys? Unreal conditionals for the past. All righty. And for this one, we're just going to read, guys. This is the gerund forms an infinitive after forget, remember, and stop. Remember that the gerund form is just the ing form, okay? So let's see if we can complete this. Choose the correct verb form to complete the text. May, how can we complete number 1?
I will never forget to meet my roommate.
Very good. So here we have forget, remember, and stop, always, plus verb, plus ing, okay? So as soon as you see forget, remember, stop, we have to add a verb plus ing, okay? All right. What about the next one? Continue, Mr. Jose. I remember.
I remember thinking, what if she doesn't like me?
Don't worry about it, Jose. There'll be another one. All right. And then we have this one. What about this one, May? But we got.
But we got on so well that we just couldn't stop talking.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, so I'll just underline here, guys. So we have forget, we have remember, and we have stop. So as soon as you guys see those verbs, we're going to use the ing, okay? What about the next one, Jose? Now she's.
Now she's my best friend. She always helps me to hand in my assignments on time.
Remember. Remember. So we have to use. She always remembers handing in my assignments, helps me remember handing in my assignments on time. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Continue. May. She never.
She never forgets buying the groceries or keeping the kitchen clean. The kitchen clean.
Very good. She never forgets buying the groceries or keeping the kitchen clean. Very good. So guys, this is a good example, Jose and May. Even though the verb forget is here, this is like one sentence. So we're going to use the same tense. It would be awkward or it would be weird if we say ing and then to keep. So maybe in this case, she always forgets buying the groceries or to keep the kitchen clean. What about the next one, Jose? If I
stop thinking about it, she's pretty much the perfect roommate.
Very good. if I stop thinking about it. Awesome. Alrighty, guys. So just remember, forget, remember, and stop plus the verb plus ing. Okay? Easy peasy. Alrighty. We're almost there, guys. A couple more. Causative verbs: help, let, and make. Let's read the instructions here. May, can you read the instructions? Complete.
Complete the sentences with the words from the box.
Alrighty, so we have a lot of words, all of these words. So let's see how you guys can complete this. May, do you have
Do you have problems with mosquitoes that don't you
I'll help you with this one. Don't
Uh.
let,
let you
perfect,
sleep?
excellent.
It-
Very
let
good. All right, so don't let you sleep. What about, maybe it'll be too much if we start crossing this out, but maybe we'll let you sleep. All right, what about number 2? Jose, how can we complete number 2?
Carrots help you sleep better at night.
Nice. Help you sleep better at night. So let's eliminate. Help you sleep or sleep. There's no sleep. Where's sleep? Oh, there was only one sleep. Maybe that's a mistake. Do you have problems with mosquitoes that don't let you sleep at night? Try burning citronella candles. Carrots help you. Oh, let's change this. Let's change this last word here, Jose. Get. Help you get better. Carrots help you get better? No. All right. I can't find the solution, but we'll just leave it with sleeps, okay? It makes more sense. All right, let's continue. Number 3, May, how can we complete number 3? Milk.
milk helps you no and
This one is C. There we go. Sorry, guys. So this one is C, Jose, okay? Carrots help you see better at night. All right, let's go back here. May, milk.
milk helps you feel no.
Yeah.
I need
Helps
helps you,
you
but I don't know the second word. Get
maybe feel sleepy. Yeah, feel sleepy. That's good. Makes you feel sleepy. Okay. Let's erase feel, helps, you, and Jose, do you have an idea?
Makes you get.
Almost. I think, I don't know if it's correct, guys, but we'll put helps you get a good night's sleep. Let's see how we do. Helps you get a good night's sleep, right? All right, it's a work in progress, guys. We're working on this together, work in progress. All right, what about the next one? Jose or May? We'll do it together. Eating oily fish.
Mm, makes you study better.
Nice. There's no more helps. Helps, helps, helps. Milk helps you. Milk lets you. Milk makes you and
Makes
makes you. All right,
makes you study better.
makes you study better. I don't know if makes is the right one. I think it's supposed to be helps. Helps you. If this were true, everyone, you would be eating fish every day, May. You would eat fish every day if it helped you study better, but that's not the case. So I'm pretty sure this is helps, but it's okay. We'll put makes you study better. And then the last one, what's the last one, Jose?
Sometimes a strong wind can make people go a little crazy.
Oh, that's great, Jose. That's great. Sometimes strong wind can make people go a little crazy. I don't know. Does strong wind make you go a little crazy?
No.
I think it's talking about the mosquitoes. Can make mosquitoes go a little crazy. Makes them go a little crazy. All right, guys. I think we did it. That's good enough. We'll accept it. Any questions, guys? The important part of this is the causative verbs. So I get people to help me, she lets me, they make me. Causative verbs are when we have other people do things for you. Is that clear? Is that okay? Alrighty, let's erase. And we will do two more. This is the first one, adding emphasis. So let's do this one here. Mr. Jose, rewrite.
Rewrite the sentences to add emphasis.
All right, let's add some emphasis. So the first one, May, I love.
I love this photo because of the light.
Very good. How can we add emphasis um, to this sentence? Can you guys think of a way of adding emphasis? Look at the example. The example is, what I love in this photo is the light. The thing I love in this photo is the light. So we can use what expressions or the thing to kind of show some emphasis, okay? Let's do number two. Let's go to number two. Go ahead and read number two, May.
I really like that beach. It was the feeling of being on vacation.
Yep. So how can we rewrite? Maybe using one of the expressions.
What I really like the beach, like that beach, is it was the feeling of being on vacation.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in both. You can just use one if you want to just use one. So you can say, what I really liked about that beach was it the feeling of being on vacation. Or if you really want to emphasize, go ahead and say the thing was it made you feel like being on vacation. Let's do one more, Jose. What about number three?
I love the beach restaurant because the food was really fresh. The thing I love the beach restaurant because the food is really fresh.
Yeah, the thing I loved was the beach restaurant because the food was really fresh. Very good. All right. guys, adding emphasis is just adding these expressions. What I really love, the thing I love, to change it. Maybe I can do number 4. So number 4 is, I remember that the people at the place were really friendly. What I remember is that the people at the place were really friendly. You just have to use the expressions, okay? Alrighty, and finally, the last one is this one. Oh, here's the examples. So the thing that I liked, what I liked, the thing I loved, what I loved, and then this is the last one. So let's begin here, Jose. Can you read this one here? Read more about.
Read more about the person's memory, then complete the rules in the box.
Okie dokie. So let's begin here, May. Returning to this place.
Returning to this place brings back memories of school, especially the ones of my graduation day. I have a distant memory of it. I recall I was really excited, but it is kind of vague. Both
Vague.
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 This always happens to me when I look back on my old school days. Do you have similar memories of the school? If you don't, let me know. If you do,
Awesome. If you do, let me know. Awesome, May. So here, let's just highlight this. So we have it, we have this, we have do. I think that is it. So we have 4 different words. Ones, it, this, and do. And now let's see how they use this. So Jose, can you read the first one? To avoid.
To avoid repeating a count noun, we can use one or once.
Excellent. Very good. One or ones. Very important, guys. When you don't want to repeat the same subject again, you just want to use ones. What about number 2? May, to avoid.
to, a- to avoid repeating a verb or verb phrase, we can use the auxiliary verb for that this. We use
Okay, so we have it, this, or do. What do you think? So this is a verb, right? So which one is a verb? It, this, or do?
do for the
Absolutely. So let's put that here. We use do. And then the next one, what about the next one, Mr. Jose?
To refer to a noun or noun phrase, we can use it or them for specific things and this or that for whole ideas.
Excellent, guys. So very important when it comes to writing, you do not want to sound repetitive. You want to make sure that you guys can use this, this technique or these words to help your writing be more professional, to be more less redundant, okay? All right, guys, here you have the example, how they used it, especially the ones. I have a distant memory of it. Of what? Of my returning to school. This always happens to me. What happens? This kind of things, this kind of situations. And if you do, let me know if you have similar memories. So you don't have to repeat. You can always use the words to refer back to something previous. What do you think, guys? Any questions? Easy peasy? All right, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for